Crews are keeping a close watch on the I-94 Red River Bridge for an all too common problem. It's dangerously slick.
Over the weekend, there were at least 4 crashes on the bridge. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly finds out what's being done to keep you safe.
As snow falls and ice coats the I-94 Red River Bridge, drivers oftentimes have trouble safely crossing from one state to the other. Ron Shea used to live in a house right off of the interstate, and he says this area has always been a problem.
And it's always been known to be slippery. I take great care when I go through there right now because it has been known to be slick.
Shea says he has seen his fair share of people losing control.
Especially at night, that bridge is really, there's tons and tons of cars, and you don't want to go into a tailspin. And when my kids started to drive, I also told them to watch out for that bridge.
This is the time of year, and these are the conditions when Minnesota's DOT gets plenty of reports of slick spots on the bridge. Despite sending crews out to sand, they say the area can remain a challenge for drivers.
A lot of people don't think of it, but your exhaust in the wintertime, if you ever notice the car in front of you, it drips water. Which when it hits the pavement causes ice.
Bergquist says crews try to tame the bridge using plows, salt, sand, and even chemical sprays.
Our morning guys and our night guys make up extra trips over it just to see if it's getting icy during the week. And there's a lot of traffic that goes over it, so we take an extra precaution during the week when everybody's on their commute.
From the plows to treating the interstate, crews say they are working hard to keep the Red River Bridge safe for you, but they say you have to do your part too, which can be as simple as slowing down, leaving plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you, and above all, be patient, because it isn't worth losing control. In Moorhead, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Road conditions can change very quickly. Just because conditions were safe earlier in the day doesn't mean that that's the way they are now.
Fargo school officials are taking a second look at allegations that a teacher at Centennial Elementary hit a special needs student. The initial investigation took a little more than a week and ended with the teacher being exonerated. In an open records request, we found an email from the staff member who witnessed the incident, who stated this wasn't the first time the teacher was physical with the 5-year-old student and at one point grabbed the child between the neck and chin.
It doesn't surprise me when I hear that it's been reported that children have been hit or slapped in school.
Fargo Schools declined speaking on camera or commenting further on the case, saying it was part of their ongoing investigation. We're not naming the teacher because charges have not been filed. Fargo police have forwarded their findings to the state's attorney, who will determine if criminal charges are filed.
There's an outbreak of multi-drug resistant Campylobacter infections linked to contact with pet store puppies. 30 people infected with the outbreak strain have been reported from 13 states, including at least 5 cases in Minnesota. Of those 30 cases, 4 people have been hospitalized. No deaths have been reported. Puppies and dogs can carry Campylobacter germs that can make people sick, even while appearing healthy and clean. People who own or come in contact with puppies or dogs should take steps to stay healthy around their pet.
You order the gifts online and now you're waiting for them to arrive, but Porch Pirates may also be waiting. A new study shows that nearly 1/3 of Americans have had a package stolen from outside their home at least once. A Cass County prosecutor says he believes the number locally may be lower than that. In Cass County, if someone is caught stealing an item worth over $1,000, they could wind up spending 5 years in jail. If you've been a victim of a porch pirate, make sure you call police and let your neighbors know too.
Air Force personnel who have already gone through extensive law enforcement training and earned the title Security Force are now eligible for a partial training waiver if they want to become a peace officer in North Dakota. The background allows them to qualify after a 2-week course to get their license instead of a 12-week course. In a statement, Adjutant General Al Dorman says not only will it benefit National Guard members and veterans, but it will also provide highly qualified law enforcement officers to fill vacant positions in our law enforcement agencies.
Times are good for home builders. The index of home builder confidence is higher than it's been in 20 years. Anything above 50 points is rated as high confidence. The Midwest is at 63 points.
The rates for mortgages continue to be wonderfully low, and so that's creating a really great environment. And then also across the country, the availability of existing homes has been on the decline, and so that's all kind of coming together to create a really great environment for new construction.
The North Dakota Association of Realtors reports that the number of homes sold this year increased from last.
Fargo tops the list for the top 10 hottest job markets for 2020. ZipRecruiter identified the markets based on the growing number of jobs postings and average number of job openings per job seeker, as well as the median wage, among other criteria. The number of job postings is growing fastest in Fargo, thanks to the local universities and a high-level hospital, as well as one of the Microsoft's largest corporate campuses. Bismarck also made the list at number 9. Sioux Falls, South Dakota ranked 3rd.
State and tribal leaders are developing a Dakota Access Pipeline spill plan. Governor Doug Burgum says pipelines are designed not to leak, but the state should prepare for the worst. Emergency Services Director Cody Schultz offered to hold a training exercise while the state will help obtain federal grant money for planning and equipment.
As North Dakota looks for ways to reduce natural gas flaring, the governor is turning to the younger generation for innovative ideas. A $2 million research grant has been approved for UND's Petroleum engineering program. It will fund summer salaries for faculty and student researchers. Programs like these are meant to ensure long-term health of the industry.
This has completely changed and revitalized that program at UND. It was on its way out the door, practically.
$1.3 million for the grant will come from this year's biennium budget, while the remainder will come from the next biennium.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
We begin with a look at temperatures across North America, and we've been eyeballing this purple blob up here in central parts of Canada. Right now, Gillum at 28 below, but we have a few in the 20s below zero here in the northern plains. As we take a look at our current conditions right now at Fargo, 13 below, no wind, so we don't have much of a wind chill out there at this hour, but temperatures really hitting rock bottom as we head into the early overnight. I want to point this out. This is kind of an interesting fact. The high today, about after midnight last night, 24 degrees in Grand Forks. We're at 22 below right now. That's the low for the day. That's a ridiculous swing of 46 degrees in a day. Typically, we see 18 degrees difference between our low and our high. And we're approaching 50-degree difference between those two digits in Grand Forks, 22 below, 17 below in Thief River Falls and Roseau. And right now, 11 below in Detroit Lakes. Fergus Falls, you're at 8 below zero, and factor in temperatures really cold here. We see the bright pinks, 24 below air temperature in Fosston. The cold spot right now with the War Road area at about 18 below. But factor in the winds, War Road, 31 below on exposed skin there, 29 below that wind chill in Langdon. So a little bit of wind out there is all it takes to really cause ridiculous wind chills as well as dangerous wind chills. So bundle up. A few clouds off to the west and maybe even a flurry or two. And it's those clouds out to the west that are keeping things a little bit warmer there. And a little note, we're hearing from folks in and around the Fergus Falls area that the Otter Tail River to the north and east of town starting to go outside of its banks. Some possible ice damming going on there. Steve captured these photos before the sunset today about neighborhoods in these areas getting impacted by rising waters to the northeast of the Fergus Falls area, as homeowners try to protect their homes from the rising waters of the Otter Tail River. Here's what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours. Falling temperatures in the Red River Valley and points east to 20 to 30 below here in central Minnesota. Brutal cold there. But we'll start warming as we head into the daybreak hours. From our west, we'll see a warm front push through. That'll bring clouds and a chance for some light snow. A dusting to a couple tenths of an inch is all I expect from this. As we go through the morning hours, we'll see our temperatures rise from below zero in the valley and points east to above zero by midday. So we're warming up. You'll see some sunshine out west, but a word of caution. We'll have enough south winds to make it wind chilly throughout our day. Afternoon temperatures rising to near 30 out in our western counties, teens here in the valley, and eventually even into the evening hours, we'll see rising temperatures across western Minnesota into the early evening. So a nice rebound in temperatures for all of us. Tomorrow morning, we won't be nearly as cold as we are right now. Temperatures in Fargo will start warming before daybreak, 6 below on your way to school. And then we'll see temperatures ramping up into the mid-teens with a little sunshine. But remember, that south wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour will make it feel a little on the wind chilly side. 20s mainly west of the Red River. 13 tomorrow afternoon on your way home from work or school in Grand Forks, and we're expecting teens as well as near 10-degree readings out near Bemidji for your afternoon drive home. All right, this photo uploaded by Rick Julian, and we have heard that there is a big game. No thunder in the forecast, but maybe thundar for sure. Here's a look at your forecast for Thursday. We warm a little more. We stay in the 20s on Friday, but then look at Saturday. We'll have 30s in southeast North Dakota, some near 35 degrees as we enjoy the winter solstice. After that, our daylight hours increase each and every day, and it looks very quiet all the way through Christmas Day on the extended planner if you have travel plans for the holiday.
Good to know. Thanks.
You bet.
Up next on Valley News Live, 10 at 10. While his elves are working hard at the North Pole, Santa takes some time to visit some Minnesota preemies.
You're watching